Good morning. Hi, Babji. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Hi, Piyush. Hey, Poonam. Nice. Okay, so did you try to finish your yesterday's task? Wow. Excellent. Aisha, take it, Babji. You will do it for sure. Yeah. Nice. All right. So today what we're gonna learn is another important topic, which is CLI. Which is CLI. Guys, can you confirm? Can you hear me well and can you see my screen? Okay. So guys, what do you know about the CLI? AWS CLI. Where did you heard about this CLI? In IAM we have discussed, right? So in IAM, how did we discuss? We have something called AWS. How many ways that we can access AWS, guys? 2 ways. What are those?
Console.
One is console, that meaning now we are using that GUI, and the other thing is programmatical access. Programmatical access meaning CLI. Programmatical access meaning, guys, CLI. So here CLI meaning command line interface. What is that? Command line interface. Guys, whatever we do it on the console, we'll be doing the same thing, in fact even more thing on the CLI. So how do you log into the console? Using
ID and password.
How you are logging to the console? Using username and password. And here, how do you authenticate? How do you log into the CLI? Using keys. What are those keys? Access and secret key. Access key and secret key. Access key and secret key. So keep this in mind that every IAM user, guys, every IAM user, if you take it, he will have 2 types of access. That's what we have discussed. So number one, one thing is he has console access, and then another thing is he has CLI access. One is console, and another one is CLI. If CLI is mandatory, it's up to you. If you have a requirement to use it to the CLI, then you can go for using CLI. Guys, if IAM user that I have created has the permission called EC2, can you tell me what does the CLI also has the permissions? What type of permissions the CLI also has?
EC2.
EC2 only. So if the IAM user has EC2 permissions, whenever he log into the console, he will have EC2 access, and whenever he use CLI also, he will have same EC2 access. Remember, in IAM we have discussed console and CLI will have both type of same kind of access. Okay, right? Yes. So this CLI, guys, this CLI is a small package or some small software. So if you want to install it on Windows machine on your laptop, you can install it, the CLI. So but you need to download a software called awscli.msi file. If you go to Google, you can put this awscli.msi file, you will get it, and you just open it, click next and finish it. You will get this AWS installed on your laptop. So once you have installed on your laptop, if you go to CMD, here, see, let's say for example, see, I have already installed on my laptop because I work, right? I have already installed on my laptop. See, AWS CLI has been installed, and your CLI works on Python basically. Python is necessary because everything, the code which is written in this AWS CLI is related to Python. The runtime is Python. So guys, this is how you install. After you install, you need to run some commands. How to run commands, what are the commands to run, that is what we'll be talking about. So installation is very simple on Windows, that you just download it and click on next and finish it. But whereas on Linux, it's not straightforward. You know that in Linux we need to use commands. Use commands to install CLI. We need to use few commands. Guys, you're getting? So CLI meaning, instead of accessing console, you can, from CLI you can do everything. You can launch instances, you can create volumes, you can create buckets, whatnot. Everything what you can do it from the console, you can also do the same thing on CLI. Command based, using commands. How many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7, right? So, but in CLI you can launch it with only one command, one single line command. Okay, there is a question here, Babji. EC2 having S3. How to move this S3 to another EC2 in another region? S3. What is that? How to move this S3 to another? S3 is a service. It's not. I didn't understand the question. S3 is a service, yeah. How can you move that service to? You mean the data? Data. So how to move S3 data to another EC2 instance in another region? S3. You mean the bucket, okay? Okay, so you want to move the bucket from one region to another region. Is this the question? No. Guys, okay, I should not answer. Is it possible to move the bucket from one region to another region? Yes, sir. How? Have we done that? Is it possible to move the bucket? If you have created the bucket in Mumbai region, can you move that bucket to Ireland region? The data can be synchronized, but can you move the whole bucket? Replication is possible, but can you move the bucket? No, not possible. The data can be replicated from one region to another region using CRR concept, but you cannot move the whole bucket from Mumbai to Ireland. No, not possible. Okay? Okay. So, coming back here, so AWS Access here, AWS CLI. So Windows guys, everyone can just download it and then they can use it. And whereas in Linux, we will be using the Linux environment to learn this CLI, because CLI meaning itself is like command based. For example, let's go with this. This is AWS. This is AWS. Okay, concentrate guys. So here, this is AWS, and you are sitting here outside at home with the laptop. With the laptop. Okay, this is your laptop. Okay, so from your laptop, how do you are connecting to the AWS, guys? From your laptop, how do you are connecting to the AWS? Using browser only, no? Using browser, you are connecting to the AWS, and then you are putting your username and password. AWS console. So this is so from AWS console, you are using it, and you are opening the browser GUI. This is how we do. And also, there is another style to access this AWS from your laptop. That is CLI. That is CLI. You getting it? That is CLI. Okay. So other way to access other way to access is using CLI. Yeah. Okay, so now, so using console, we can using a browser, we can open AWS console and we do a lot of things nowadays. But how do we do it from the CLI? Guys, from your laptop, right? From your laptop, if you want to connect to the AWS, how do you authenticate? If you installed AWS CLI, guys, most of the people using Windows laptop only, right here, Windows laptop. So Windows laptop meaning you need to install AWS CLI.msi file on your Windows laptop, and you have to, how do you authenticate AWS using CLI? Using keys. So you need to set up the keys or here on your laptop. You need to set up keys on your laptop. Once you set up the keys on your laptop, now you are eligible to connect to the AWS using CLI from your laptop. This is one way. From your laptop you can connect it. Okay. So what we do is now, through the console, we'll go and launch one EC2 instance, which is Linux EC2 instance. Okay. This is Linux EC2 instance. So inside this Linux EC2 instance, we will install AWS CLI. Okay, na? In this, we'll install AWS CLI. Guys, from the browser, we'll just go and launch one EC2 instance. Inside that, we are learning how to install CLI. So we are installing CLI on Linux machine. And how do you authenticate? From CLI, what do I need to configure? Inside this, keys we need to configure. But the question here is it recommended to configure keys on your EC2 instance? No. Is it a good way of doing it? No. So keep this in mind. Configuring keys on the instance is bad way. Configuring keys on the instance is bad. What is a good way? Yeah? What is a good way we should use? Excellent, Dipti. Roles. What is a good way? Roles. So what we do is we launch a good way, like when we launch again the same Linux EC2 instance, right? And then we will be doing the good way also. Like here, we'll install AWS CLI. But instead of configuring the keys here inside, we'll create what? We don't set up the keys inside, and we'll create an IAM role, and whatever let's say for example from CLI you want to use EC2 and then you want to use S3 services. So for the role, what are the policies that I need to mention? I need to use EC2 and S3 policies for the role, and then attach role to this EC2 instance. This is the good way of doing it. Guys, you understood? Everyone? Right? This is what we'll be doing it. So how to install AWS CLI on your Windows laptop? So guys, after installing AWS CLI, you need to run the commands on your command prompt. This would be, we need to run few commands. We need to configure keys, right? So configure the keys on Windows and on your on Linux is both are same. The commands are same. See, this is how we configure. We need to type a command called AWS configure. Once you hit command, you will get to provide access key. Provide that access key, and it will ask for secret key. You provide the secret key, and then it will ask for the region, which region that you want to connect it in, and then it will ask for the output. So once you run the command, how do you get the output? You want in table format, or in JSON format, or in XML format, you choose it. Output. JSON, XML, or table. Which one you want, you choose it. If you want to see it clearly, I would go for table. So these guys, when you run any commands, right? So when you run any command, the output should be there, na? The output, you can see it on table. We'll see that soon. Is AWS CLI external tool or AWS provided tool? It's not external. Guys, is this clear till here, everyone? Everyone? Nice. So here, what we're gonna do as a practical is here, I'll show you the bad way and we'll do the good way also. What is the bad way? So this is what we do. Guys, what we do is, we'll go and launch EC2 instance. We'll go and launch EC2 instance and install AWS CLI. Okay? And then after that, configure keys. And after that, configure keys. And what we do is, and we'll execute few sample commands. Okay, now this is a bad way. What is a good way? What's a good way of doing it? So here, what we do is, we'll launch EC2 instance, okay, and install AWS CLI, right? And then what we do, attach a role and execute your sample commands. Guys, how do you do that? Definitely, see, you know this very well, but I'm just writing it, see. So first, how to do that? First we'll launch EC2 instance. Second step is install AWS CLI. Third step, in this, we need to create IAM role, right? And attach whichever you want, EC2 and SD policies, right? Why CloudWatch? If you don't need that, CloudWatch. And then attach IAM role to the EC2 instance, right? And then once you attend, log in to the EC2 instance and run the commands. Anywhere you don't need to provide any keys in this good way. I wrote the step for this good way. How to do it. So guys, so now should we do this bad way, guys? That meaning once we launch the EC2 instance and we'll install AWS CLI and then we'll configure the keys and we'll run some few commands on CLI. Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Let's do that. So first of all, let's go and launch our EC2 instance. Please ask questions if you have any questions. So I'm going and launching instance. Which one? Red Hat. T2 Micro. So I'll put it in 1A. I'll enable this. I'll keep everything default. Next. I call it as AWS CLI demo. Next, existing security group default, review, and then Passat. So I'll check my SSH is enabled or not. So SSH is there, my IP. So it is getting launched. In real time, CLI, which one is recommended? It's not about recommendation, it's about requirement. 90% of the people will go for GUI. That's how we do it. But if you have any requirement, because CLI is mostly for developers and for automation purpose, people go with the CLI. So guys, here, how to install this AWS CLI on Linux. I have put it here, nice steps, you can execute this step by step in your AWS CLI will be installed on your Linux. Let me explain this. Guys, I told you that this AWS CLI needs Python. First, we need to install Python, yum install Python. So you have Python version, Python 2, Python 3, whichever version you want, you can install it. Guys, and if you want to download few zip files or few tar files, few zip files from internet, what is the command to use? wget. In Linux, guys, in Linux, which is the command, what is the command to download any zip files from internet, from HTTP link? wget. What is that? Please keep this in mind. So we need to install that package called wget, and using wget, we are downloading some setup tools.zip file, and you are untarring it. Tar xvf meaning you are untarring it. Once you untar, folder will be created. Your CD, you are going into that folder, and you are running some file called setup.py file. Py file, Python, you are installing it, and we need to download some pip file also. Let's download it and run this, and after that, using pip, we are installing AWS CLI software. So these are the commands that we should be using it. These are commands that we should be using it. Should we use this command and when install AWS CLI, guys? Let's do that. Make sure, let's try to connect to the machine first. Okay, EC2 minus user sudo minus yes. So if you go to sudo, that means it is elevating the permissions. Guys, now what is the first command to install AWS? To install this, but install Python, right? So I will go with yum install -y Python 2. I'll go with Python. Right, Python is installed, right? And then we need to install yum install -y wget. Wget is installed, and now we need to download that link, right? So yum install wget. So we need to download this zip file. So I'm copying that, and then here, and then enter. If I do ls, so this tar file, zip file has been downloaded. We need to unzip this, right? What is the command to unzip it? Tar xvf, and then this setup. If we do ls, so here untarring is done, unzip is done, and there is a folder got created. Let's go inside that folder, cd setup tools folder. If you do ls, there are so many files here. So we need to install this setup.py file. So what is the command here? Python 2 setup.py file install. Let's run this command. Once you run this command, we need to download one file again, py file. So let's download it, and then run this py file. Done. And finally, AWS CLI. Guys, do we have AWS CLI already? See, AWS ---- version. There is no, see, AWS command not found. So now finally, we need to install this pip install AWS CLI. Okay, it is installed. Should we use that command? AWS --- version. You see this now? Now AWS CLI has been installed on Linux. How to install on Windows? Download that AWS CLI MSA file and click next, finish it, and then put it AWS --- version. You will get it here. on your command prompt. Guys, is this clear how to install AWS CLI? Just run these commands. Everyone. Nice. So now we have installed this AWS CLI and are ready to access few services, right? So how to now let's guys, my voice is slow. I have my bass voice. Really? It's clear, right? Okay. Please check on your end. So why we are not using install? There is no direct package, Abdul Sattar, Abdul. AWS CLI, there is no direct package to install. To install that, you need to go around all these things. You need to install Python, basics, and then you need to install a few things there. It's not direct. Okay. So guys, here, now I have installed this AWS CLI. So now I need to run few commands. In order to, let's say for example, I need to launch one EC2 instance from this here. So in order to talk to AWS, how do I authenticate? How do I authenticate? What should I configure here? I need to configure keys. I should configure what? Keys. So guys, what is the command? I wrote it here. See, how do you configure the keys here? What is here? AWS configure. Let's type AWS configure. And it is asking for access key. Yes, from where do you get the access keys? Go to IAM and get your access keys and secret keys. So I go here. How do you know generate keys, right? So I'm generating the keys here. So this is the key. I'm putting it here. Enter and secret key. And secret key is this. And then enter. What is the region name? What is the code that we use? AP minus south minus 1. And then what is the output format we thought? I'll go with the table. Guys, do you understood how did I configure it keys here on my machine? Everyone? That's why I wrote the steps here. First type AWS configure. After that access key, secret key, region and output. And now you are ready to run the few commands here. So guys, I told you these keys are stored locally on your machine. You know what? Where did it store? Okay, if you go to the root folder, guys, please write down this. cd tilde meaning here root. Inside your root, there is a hidden folder called .aws, and there is a 2 files here in credentials. So if you do cat for these credentials, see, my access keys and secret keys are clearly visible here. Access keys and secret keys are clearly visible here. Is that good? That's the reason why I will ask you to do this good way. Same thing, launch an EC2 instance, install AWS CLI. Instead of doing things like AWS configure, we do it. Don't do that. Create a role and attach to the EC2 instance. And you know to configure the keys here anymore. Got that? Guys, got that? Yes? Guys, everyone following? Okay, so now let's run few commands here. Guys, let's run few commands. If we create role, then this not visible, sir. Which one? If you create a role, you no need to configure. We just configure AWS configure. I put keys and all, right? No need. Question: if we have installed CLI in EC2, then why we are configuring? If we install CLI in EC2, why we are configuring access keys and secret keys? Is it because to run the commands in EC2 through CLI mode? No. this is AWS CLI is just a software, right? So how does this CLI will go and launch your EC2 instance in your account? Okay, now let's say for example, I have installed AWS CLI. Rakesh, I want to launch EC2 instance in your account. How do I authenticate your account? That is why we need keys. Keys is to authenticate AWS account. Once you authenticate AWS account, you can go and launch whatever you want. Is that clear, Rakesh? Okay. So guys, here. So now what I did is for you, I have listed down few commands here for your to do some lab for you. Let's go with these few commands. Okay, guys, how many steps are there to launch EC2 instance? 7 steps are there. Can you tell me what are those? Can you list down few? What is the important thing? What is the first step? We need to choose an AMI, right? We need to select.
Yeah.
So guys, when you want to launch an EC2 instance from AWS CLI, so this is the command that you should use it. So let us see what is this command. Keep this in mind. In your interview or in your certification question, people will not ask the entire line. People will ask only, hey, what is the command line CLI command to launch EC2 instances? You should say run minus instances. What is the command to launch an instances, guys? Run minus instances. So the command is AWS is common, and EC2, whichever the service that you want to use, put the service here. And what is the command to launch? Run minus instances. And you give all the details here. Like if you want to launch an EC2 instance, you need to have image ID. Na? Get the image ID. And how many instances that you want to launch? 2 or 1. Get that, right? And then what is the instance type that you should use? T2 micro. And what is the key name that you use? INAME badge, right? Right? Or what is the key name that you use? And which security group that you want to attach? Get the security group ID. And which is the subnet that you want to choose? Get the subnet. How to get all these things, guys? So how to get the security group ID? This is the group ID, na? Metadata. From here, get the security group ID, right? And subnets. How to get the image ID? When you are launching the EC2 instance, you see this image ID here. And how to get the subnet ID? So go here, and do you get the subnet ID here? When you are selecting availability zone, you have subnet here. So these details I have put it here. This is one time, right? So guys, you might ask, sir, why didn't you provide tag, volumes, details, etc.? Guys, those are all default things. So default things will take it as default, and there are few mandatory things. Without selecting name ID, can you launch an EC2 instance? No. Without how many numbers, we cannot. There are the mandatory things that you need to provide. So just provide this, and your EC2 instance will get launched. Should we try this? Let's do that. And I just wanted to make sure the key pairs. What is the key pair exactly name? INAME badge. So we have to take before doing the transformator. Yes, you need to take that from console. So here, I'll go to the EC2 instance, and then boom. Should we run this? Next one. So guys, so what is the output that we have selected? Table, na? So this is the output that this command has given. So who has ran it, and what is the AMI that you have selected, what is the launch time, all the metadata you'll get it here. See, all the metadata you'll get it. What is the status? Pending. So if I go to my EC2 instance, one instance is getting created. See, guys, only once, only one line. How much time did it took? Fraction of seconds. Take in command and hit enter, and you get launch your EC2 instance. Yes, everyone, right? And if you change, if you add, let's say if you want to add the tags, you can add the tags. Like, there is a command called ---- tags, and then you put key is equal to something, name, and value is equal to test, and you will get that also. So guys, keep this in mind. No one will remember this entire thing. So this in Google, you have a nice documentation for each and everything. So even I will get it from here only. Let's say, for example, how to create a volumes from CLI. Create volume from AWS CLI. From AWS CLI. See, create volume, the first link. So you get the syntax, guys. You get the syntax. If you come down, definitely you should get something there. See here, AWS EC2. What's the command? Create volume. What is the volume type that we should select? GB2. What is the size? 80. And what is the availability zone? Select the availability zone and run this command. Got it, guys? So if you put it for each and everything, you will get the commands, direct commands. Guys, can you tell me what it is doing?
Stopping EC2. Stop.
Yes. What is the command to stop the EC2 instance? Stop minus instances. Stop minus instances. And if you want to stop, you need to have instance ID. Na? Get that instance ID. From where do you get that instance ID? Instance ID. Here. Right? So this is for starting. This is for terminating. And can you tell me, guys, what is this doing?
Creating tags.
Yes. See, so it is for creating the tags. It is creating the tag. So, okay, let me do one thing. So let me show it for you. It's really it is that I do one by one here. You can try it out. So see here, to which instance ID, let's say for example, for this there is no tag. Let me try to put the tag. Get the instance ID here, and then here, instead of this instance, put the instance ID here, and then key is equal to name, value is equal to, I put as 9 AM demo, something, and then boom. So if you go here, now if you refresh it, you see this here, we got the tag. So it is using metadata URL, I'll talk about that what is. So using this demo, 9 AM demo, do you see this here? This is how you get the tags. It just, you need to start running it. So can you tell me, guys, what is this line this guy is doing?
Volume, creating volume.
Yes. It is just creating our, just now we have seen, right, how to create a volume. So I have listed down few commands. You can start doing all these things here. So what is this doing? Yes, it is attaching the volume. If you want to attach a volume, you need to have an volume ID, and you need to have the instance ID, and you need to have the device name also, /dev/sdh. This is for detaching, this is for deleting, this is for terminating. This one, yes, it is for creating an AMI. How to create an image? This is the link. So guys, what I did, I just went for the documentation. I just list down all these commands for your for practicing purpose. So if you start practicing it, you will get a good hold of your CLI. So this is for deregistering, meaning what? Deleting the image, creating the snapshot and deleting the snapshot. And someone is asking how to get the instance ID from the here. So guys, we remember that URL. This URL. So if you want to get the image ID of this machine, so you should use curl http:// right 169.254.159.254/latest/meta-data. If you run this command, guys, you will get all this metadata. So whichever you want, you just select this. Let's say you want to get an instance ID. So use this command, same command. At the end, you have a metadata called instance ID. Guys, this is the instance ID you get. So this URL, right? this URL will be mostly used by the no, IP will be same. This URL will be used by the developers in their code. For example, they want to, in the runtime, they need to get the system URL or system details or image ID or instance ID. So they can use this URL and get there in their variable. Right? That is how you will get the instance ID. So I just uses this EC2, and you can use, I have listed few S3 command also. Can you tell me this, guys? What is this MB doing? MB meaning make bucket. So you can create a bucket also. See? I'll AWS S3 MB S3:// this is syntax, and 9 AM test BKT minus region. In which region? South -1. In that region, I'm creating the bucket. See, if I do AWS S3 LS, right? See, this is the bucket I have. So if I go to S3, you should see the bucket that we have created. See here? So everything, guys, everything, whatever you want to do, everything can be done using this CLI. There is a question. Last command columns are available, but no else. Which one? Last command columns. I didn't done. Which one? I didn't understand. Yeah, if you need the AMI values, you need to take it this AMI minus ID, and then you put it at the end. Instead of instance ID, you put it AMI ID. You will get the AMI ID here. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So guys, this is how you create a bucket in particular region. Yeah, practice it. So guys, can you tell me what is this MB meaning? Move. Can you tell me from where to where I'm moving this? Guys, if you here test.txt is local. Test.txt is local. So you are moving from local to S3 bucket. That is nothing but you are uploading your local file to S3 bucket. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? You are uploading the object from your local laptop to S3 bucket. Yes. And this one, you are moving from S3 bucket to another S3 bucket. This one, you are moving from S3 to your local. That means you are downloading it. You are downloading it. This one, you are moving from one bucket to another bucket with the same name. And this guy, you are moving the entire bucket data. What is dot meaning here? Your current directory, your local. Guys, there is a hint here, right? Yes, very important. So there is a hint here. Whenever it starts from S3:// think that is the bucket. So moving everything from your bucket to your current directory, your local, right? Why we are putting minus recursive? Recursive meaning here, meaning you might have subfolders, you might have folders under folders. If you don't put minus recursive, you will not get everything, will not be downloaded, or it will not work. So if you want everything, subfolders, everything with directory downloaded, you should use the recursive concept. Can you tell me what is this guy doing? There is a folder called my directory in. So now tell me, this my directory is a local or a S3 folder?
Local folder. Local.
Yes. So there is a folder called there is a directory called my directory, and you are moving all the things to the bucket everything you are moving hyphen recursive, but you are excluding only .jpg files. Same thing. You are excluding, you are copying, you are moving entire data object from one bucket to another bucket, excluding some folders. So guys, like this, you can use move. What is the importance of dot in this command? Where? Dot meaning current directory. Rakesh. Dot meaning your current this directory. This guy. PWD meaning this. If I go to the root, dot meaning current directory. Curl meaning if you want to get a response from HTTP from Linux, you need to use the curl command. Guys, now we have used move commands, right? And then like the same way you can use copy commands, right? You can I have given one by one. So I'll share this notepad to you. You can start practicing these commands, guys. And also how to remove the bucket. We remove the bucket. AWS SDRB. SD:// What is this guy? One second. Okay, so here, so at the minus, you can put minus region. Where is that? In Mumbai, and I can go with forts. See, removed bucket. So if I go and check it, my bucket might have deleted here. See, no buckets. Guys, each and everything. So you can synchronize, replication can be, you can synchronize from one bucket to another bucket, and you can, within single command also, you can enable you can do the static website hosting also. This single line command. Got this, guys? So you can use this link, reference link for each and every service, and you can start doing all that. You cannot do everything. Remember, guys, you cannot do everything from this. Like, sir, I want to create a load balancer. You can do it. So just for example, as a practice purpose, so let's say you want to create load balancer from AWS YAML. Okay. Create load balancer. If you come down, you should have a syntax of creating load balancing. AWS ELB create load balancer name, listeners, protocols, listener pointer. These are all the things what we have configured, right? Which subnets and which security group. If you run this will get created. It will give the load balancer output. Guys, will you do, okay, question. If our requirement is to remove any package from the EC2, Linux. You are asking Linux questions to me. So Ramakrishna, so you need to just put it in what is the package that you want to remove, and you can remove that package. You need to check the Linux commands for that. So guys, so the task for you is, of course, you do all the okay, so I should answer that. Ramakrishna. So yes, do you see this yum remove package? So you just put it, you will get the command. Yeah. So guys, what you do is here, the task for you is, I did the bad way of configuring the keys on the machine. Will you do this good way and run the commands? Yes. Will you take it up? Yes. So please do. This is your task. Babji, please mail me. I'll send you these commands. Right? Yeah. So guys, here the task is set up CLI manually on Linux and configure this. That's how I did. And you have to set up the CLI with the roles also. I gave you the commands how to do it. And from your Windows machine also, set up AWS CLI on your Windows laptop, install this, configure this, run the commands. Same. Ashish, copy pasting the commands is very difficult here. So it's so many commands. I'll send you this notepad. Guys, is this clear? Everyone? Any questions? Okay, someone is saying to attach it. Let me. No, I'll send it to this guy. So, yes, we open Linux here based on our existing institution IP and install Python. If we close the session and again we open the session, our Python setup will be gone because it's no. Whatever the setup you have done inside the machine will be there. It will not. Yeah. Great. So guys, any questions? So Babji, please send me an email right away. I'll forward you all the things, and guys, please do the task. This is very important. Unless you don't do the hands-on, it will be very difficult for you. Please do the hands-on. And also, tomorrow there is no class. Because I have some appointments. Let's meet up on Monday. So weekend you have a nice time to play with this CLI concept. Will the next week will the last? Maybe. It depends. Yeah. Guys, can you give the final CC for today? Smile karo bhai. Smile. We have 2 days. I'll be missing you. Nice. Great. So that is all, guys, for today, and I'll see you on Monday with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Stay safe. See you on Monday.
Yo, everybody go to PI. The $1 1 kilo, $1 kilo PI.